Good afternoon. Welcome to Meet Me Monday. I am Karma with Lewis Acre Farm, and I am so glad that you're here. I am doing the live from inside. Boy, am I really that slow? It looks like a really bad delay. Or is that just me? I hope we're not going to have that kind of a delay on the video. Oh, anyway, I am doing the live from inside today. It is supposed to be 70 degrees today in Caldwell, but it's looking really ominous outside, and I didn't want to get caught in the rain. Hopefully today we won't have any buffering problems like I've been having recently. But if we do, just bear with me and we'll work through it. I'm using a new operating system on my computer. My son is a wonderful tech guru, and he found a better operating system that would work with my older computer. And it runs very much like Windows. And so we're going to try it out for the first time today. Kevin, welcome in. I'm so glad you're here. We are going to be talking with Jerry and Susan with Butler Family Farm. And they are in Missouri. And so let's go ahead and welcome them to the stage.
There. Hello.
Welcome in.
Oh, there. Now I'm there. Thank you.
There we go. That way you're a little bigger. So thank you for sharing it out, Kevin. I appreciate that. So welcome to Meet Me Monday, Jerry and Susan.
Thank you.
Thank you for inviting us.
Absolutely. I'm happy to have you here.
My thumbs up. Oops. Sorry.
So, excuse me, a little bit froggy today. I didn't get a whole lot of sleep over the weekend. It's catching up.
Yeah, it will do that. It will do that for sure.
So, go ahead and first of all, introduce yourselves. Tell us a little bit about your channel and your family.
Okay. Well, first of all, I say hello, Kevin. And I don't know who else is in here, but whoever else is in here watching the replay, hello. I'm Jerry.
Susan.
And our youngest son lives with us on the farm, and his name is Robert.
Okay.
He's not on very many videos because he doesn't really care. So, you see him, he doesn't want to talk to when he is on. He just hates to talk. Or if I get him to record for me, he'll just record. There won't be no talking. So I have to do a voiceover or something on it when he does that stuff.
Okay. Well, that's good that he's able to help you.
Yes, he takes care of the farm when we do our little travels. Like we just came back from the Pinecone Fest in Texas, and he took care of everything. And actually, to be honest, he surprised us and
did extra.
Did some things we had talked about doing or things that needed to be done, and he did it all on his own. And I was stunned. I was thrilled to death.
That's wonderful.
But he takes care of we've got 5 dogs and 3 cats. And they always need daily feeding and all that kind of stuff. And then he takes care of the chickens and, everybody else, the other livestock that's out there. So
when we're gone.
While we're gone, yeah. But we all do it together when we're home. So anyway.
That's nice that you have that extra help and somebody that you can trust.
Yeah, exactly.
Stitching it up. Wonderful. Thank you for coming in and joining us today. Okay, so how many children do you have?
We have 3 adult children. And then, of course, we have the fur babies. But
then we have 10 grandchildren.
We have 10 grandchildren. Our daughter has the two oldest grandsons, and then our middle child, another older son, has the sixth. Seven.
One's passed though.
Yes. One of his oldest passed 16 years ago. He would have been 16.
No.
Yeah.
Were we living here when that happened? No.
No.
It's been 20 years then.
Well,
it's been 20 years ago.
He wouldn't be that old. Anyway,
Yeah.
One passed, and now he's got 5 others. Yeah.
Okay.
So,
Well, I'm
and they live
sorry
on
for
that.
this.
Yeah, he was a baby, and I believe it was. I'm told it was SIDS. I have my own opinions, but whatever. But he was about 3 months old, and yeah, it was quite tragic. But he now lives down at the other end of the property. He's at the north end of the property, and with his wife, and she's got 2 kids. So we have bonus grandchildren that's in that 10, and then they have a baby, and then there's some kids in the middle. So it's very active down there.
Very nice.
Yeah.
So we have a nice big full family.
Yes, we do. We do. And we enjoy him very much. In fact, Jerry was with them Saturday doing
Fireman breakfast.
fireman breakfast that we
I cook fireman breakfast the 3rd Saturday every month.
yeah, started
Oh,
out
nice.
as a fundraiser type thing, and then our
Oh no, it started off as supporting the fire department when I first got involved in it, and that was 15 years ago.
About
14 or 15 years ago. I got involved in the fire department, and they would do cooking on the 3rd Saturday of the month to raise funds to support the fire department, to pay for the insurances and pay for gasoline, pay for the trucks and stuff that they had. I don't know how I got, but I got became the treasurer of the department, and I ran the department on $10,000 a year.
Oh,
And
wow.
which was hard. I mean, we had to
Oh, yeah.
be careful on how much gas we bought for the trucks, and because our trucks are always hand-me-down trucks, and we had a couple that were diesel, a couple that were gasoline, and so when I took it over, I was always helping with the cooking and stuff. I don't know, but 7 years ago, 6 or 7 years ago, I lost track of the time, but it was less than 10 years ago. We became tax base. And when we became tax base, couldn't do the fundraisers for the department anymore. So they didn't want to stop because because you're tax base, you can't take money in from people. Some of the laws are here in Missouri that they can't take any money in. So the money we had, we turned it into a fireman relief fund, and we actually joined with another town to make our department. We were Stark City Fire Department. The other one was Fairview Fire Department. We joined together and made it Midway Fire Protection District.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
So, and the reason why we did tax base is because the other fire departments in the area were nipping at our borderline, our territories. They would annex a area in for taxes, and they would go to voting, and it would get voted on for them to be annexed in. So then they would end up getting that tax money from that section. So we were losing ground. So we decided we had to go tax base to hold our own.
Uh-huh.
So that's what we ended up doing. We go tax base so we could not lose any territory.
But we continued with Fireman's Breakfast on a volunteer basis. The firemen didn't come and help as much as they used to. They used to have to come and help when it was supporting their departments. But we just continued it because the community wanted it. It was a gathering place. Neighbors could see each other that hadn't seen for maybe a month or so. And because there's not a lot of people that live in Stark City. So it's the neighboring farms, people coming in, getting a break. Anyway, we kept doing it until the pandemic came, and then we had to shut down, and we were down for
18
months. And when it started being safe to congregate again as groups, we started back up.
But the fire department people stopped helping at that time.
Totally.
So it just became all on us.
So our family does it, and it's still the relief fund, the auxiliary fund. If somebody has a fire and they need a hotel room before the Red Cross can get in
or
and help
clothes or
them.
something like that.
Things like that. We can give them money.
Yeah, we can give money to help them out.
So
That's
And it's
wonderful.
also paid for, like, we had to do new cabinets in the fire hall. And so we paid for the new cabinets. The other ones are literally falling off the walls because they're that old.
Wow.
And so we paid for the new cabinets and paid for the new countertops. And out of the fund, that's what we used it. We used it for the community things because everybody in the community uses the firehouse.
Yeah,
they have their water district meetings there. They have their city council meetings there. So it benefits more than just the firemen. It benefits everybody in the community. And our town is only 136 people.
Wow.
So it's not a big. When we say Stark City, it's actually Stark City Village.
yeah.
So
Right.
it's a small area.
Stark contrast to a city.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It has a lot of outlying areas that's in it because it goes by in this area. It goes by the mailing addresses, and our zip code area covers a good area. So Stark City has the post office there, and it covers several miles outside of the actual city area.
When we call our electric company, it took me a while to figure this out, but when we would call our electric company, I'd give the address. She'd say, "Oh, that's in Natonia," and I'm thinking, no, but actually we are Natonia by our physical address, but our mailing address has always been a P.O. box in Stark City. So,
and then here the big kicker: our post office box is only a half mile away, but we can't have mail delivered to our house. We have to have a P.O. box
because we're a non-deliverable address because of the way the route,
the route is set up.
And we've talked and we've talked and we've talked, and we just gave up. So we pay for a P.O. box.
Hey, Tiffany.
But we say we live in Stark City, and it's kind of iffy, but it's okay.
Rebecca and Tiffany came in.
Hi, Rebecca.
Welcome in, Rebecca, Touched by Yarn and Canadian Family Life. Tiffany. Also want to welcome in J3GS Farm.
Yeah, that's
my honey.
That's a new one for me.
Yeah, that's where your honey come from.
I have a jar of
Mr. Johnson.
Yeah, I have a jar of his honey from when we went to.
No, was it Johnson? Yeah, it's Johnson.
What was it? Tropical Forest. They had their soil sister and soil brother thing last year. We went to that.
Savannah, Georgia.
Yeah, Georgia.
We went there for that.
Yes.
Yeah, so I have some of J3GS's honey still.
Nice. Okay. So now you're not originally from Missouri.
No.
Okay.
We moved here
in 2006
from San Diego.
In November 2006.
From San Diego.
We bought the property we started working on buying the property in December of 2004. But it didn't go through until January 2005.
So
we made the offers in December of 2004.
So we
welcome in, Kristen. Glad you're here.
Established our farm in 2005, but we actually physically moved the following year in 2006 in November.
Okay. And what prompted you to move from California, and why did you choose Missouri?
Okay. I have a friend of mine who his dad was from this area. His dad was from the Neosho area, and I met him in San Diego. I lived basically down the road from him. We were like 3 houses away from each. I mean, 2 houses away from each other, and I met him, and we got to good friends, and we bowled together. When I got out of the military, I was going to college, and he was going to college. He went to college to become a teacher, and I was going to college for just the education to figure out what I really wanted to do. At that time I wanted to do computer programming, so I took a lot of computer classes. I was married before to another woman. I got divorced, and I met Susan, and then they decided they were going to leave. His dad retired from the school district out there. He was actually that school district, the university out there. He was in the Navy for 20 some odd years. He got out of the Navy. He worked at a university working on their boilers and stuff to keep their electrical working. They had boilers and stuff. And he left. They retired from there, and he decided he wanted to come back to his hometown, which is Neosho area, which is 10 miles away from us. His son was going to school, and he was living with them, so he decided to go back also. And there's a whole long story of that too. We won't get into that part, but he moved back here and finished his schooling out here at Missouri State to become a teacher. He would fly back to San Diego every year and spend 2 or 3 weeks with us. And I came out here, and whenever they needed help with something, I'd fly out here. And they said they needed help putting a barn up, and I'd fly out here and I'd help them put a barn up for a week. And then Susan and I said, we started reading the writing on the wall in San Diego about how the California was going to get bad. And I said, we need to get the heck out of here, because I don't do good with neighbors and stuff. And we had a drug dealer neighbor, and I couldn't tolerate him, and we didn't have the help from the police department to take care of it. So I was going to go to jail, or we were going to move. And so we ended up packing. I came out here, saw some property, and I did this like 5 or 6 times, didn't I? My friend said, hey, I got 30 acres here, or 40 acres there, 100 acres here, 160 acres here, or whatever. And I come out and I look at it. And I looked at one piece, it was 160 acres. I made the guy an offer. It was supposed to be 80 acres of woods and 80 acres of open ground. Well, it was like 8 acres of open ground in spots, like 8, half acre here, half acre there, and the rest of it was solid woods.
And you found out in these trips coming out here, because Jerry is still a duck hunter and deer hunting. He did all of that in California, and found out that if you're a landowner in Missouri and you have 75 acres or more, you don't have to buy licenses for everything. You get what they call landowner tags. So it changed our criteria for property to where we wanted
at least 75 acres.
So we could, because the point of moving and retiring, is to cut costs of things. And this is one way of doing it. Not that it was a lot of money, but still. But he does still buy his license for
the hunting license. Here in Missouri, if you own land, you get farm tags, and you don't have to have a hunting license.
But he buys it so that it supports the conservation Department of Conservation for Missouri, because we do have CWD in Missouri, that deer disease. That's what it's called. The wasting disease.
Deer wasting disease.
Okay, so, we do have that here. So he doesn't have to buy the license. He chooses to do so because it supports the conservation. So that's why we were starting to look for 75 acres.
Right. And so we came across this. The first, like I said, the first one I was looking at was we really was keen on was the 160 acres. So my friend and I were gonna raise horses together, paint horses. And before we actually moved here, the market dropped out of the horse business. So after we got here, we decided, well, we ain't gonna do that because there's no money involved in it at all anymore. Excuse me. So, I found, like I said, we went and looked at this 860 acres, and it was there was no, it was almost solid woods. And so I made the guy an offer. He didn't want to take the offer. So we looked at this place, and when we looked at this place, it was 90 acres. And when I originally looked at it, so I brought her out. I came out here in August, found it. I brought her out here in December to look at it. When we looked at it in December, it had split to 70 acres and 20 acres. So we went to the real estate agent and said, hey, this originally was 90 acres. He goes, yeah, my brother owns it. Let me call him in and have him come over here. I said, well, that's great. So he showed up, and he said, well, yeah, you can make me an offer on the whole 90. He goes, but there is a 26.6 acres attached to that if you want. And I said, well, we want first refusal rights on it. He said, well, why don't you just make me an offer for the whole thing? So we did. So I did.
And that's how
that's how we got the 116.6 acres.
I will have
That's
to
awesome.
Yeah, I will have to say that it was interesting talking with this guy after we moved out here because we wanted to get out from doing a private loan into a banking loan and get connected up with the bank and
Yeah, because he financed it the first couple of years for us.
And he said he'd have to run this by his wife. He was at a age in his life that she needed to know what he was doing. So he had made all these deals all these years that only he knew about, but he finally decided it was time to, let the wife in on what was going on, which is, a Southern thing. The men made all the decisions and the wife just went along.
Right.
Still very prevalent. Where coming from San Diego, a modern time and whatever, it was kind of an eye opener, and I had to laugh about it. Because we weren't like that, and we weren't going to be like that. But
we thought
I thought it was really nice, that he was going to have to talk to his wife about this new deal that we were making. And I said, absolutely, she needs to be aware of it. I wouldn't have it any other way. And he just kind of looked at me kind of funny, but they,
And one of the things in that, Susan noticed that out here that the women always got the food for the men and brought it to the men no matter where they were and fed them. And she looked at me and she said, "That ain't happening with us." And I'm always just getting my own, She said, "I'm not going to wait on you like they do out here, And well, slowly and surely, Susan did turn it over where she'll bring me a plate once in a while. It's not as much as some other people I've seen, where they wait on their husband's hand and foot, but she will bring me a plate every now and then if I'm doing something or if I'm watching a program and she's up and she'll make a plate and say, "Here, here's your dinner,"
But those women that were doing it all the time, that was their job, was a homemaker. Right. I was not a homemaker. I've worked.
Right.
I still work. And so that was the main difference right there. But I did respect him for letting us know he needed to talk to his wife about these things because she needed to know what was going on. And so that I found that an interesting perspective.
And we
really quick, I wanted to welcome in Troy Sutton, and it's all Grady.
Hello, Grady.
Guys.
Troy has been here before. It's all Grady is new for my channel. I just want to welcome you in. It's great to have you here.
You see Kristen came in too.
Christine? Oh, Kristen. Yeah. Bella was first. Yeah, Kristen came in earlier.
Yeah. That's how we moved out here was.
Yeah, that's how we went about the property because of my friend that was coming out here looking for it.
But we were also at that time in the 50s, and we were thinking, one of these days it's getting closer, for retirement. What are we going to do? And so this is what we're doing. We're
when I first moved out here, we cropped it. We had corn, and soybeans, and wheat, and I was working that. Then I was also going to school part time, and she was working full time. And it got to be we're after I hit 55.
Yes.
Got 55. I said to Sarah, I said, "Hey, this is getting to be a lot." And I had already graduated college from out here with an ag degree, so I went to college out here so I could know what I was doing on my property. I didn't want it to be fumbling my way through everything. I wanted to have an idea what I was doing. So I took every class that they had except for one class that was waste management.
Well, you did have a challenge. Because when we told your parents that we were moving out here and we were going to be farmers, his mother says, "You can't do that. You're too old to be a farmer." So we had to prove her wrong.
You're told to be a farmer. You don't know what you're doing, and all that stuff. Well, that's why I went to college and I took 1 year. I went full time.
Yeah.
And I was carrying 24 units. And one semester I carried 24 units. But I took every class they had.
24 units. That's a heavy load.
Yeah, it was a heavy load.
I made the mistake of doing that my freshman year, my first quarter of my freshman year.
It was a heavy load thing, but it didn't seem like college. I didn't seem like, well, I have to go back. When I first got out of the high school, I went to college and I hated it. And when I got out of the Navy, I went to college and I didn't hate it, but it wasn't, I was there to try to learn something, and they always got to take all these underclasses and stuff. I took all my underclasses in San Diego. So when I came here, I could concentrate on what I wanted to really learn, which was the agriculture stuff. So I go to classes, and it didn't seem like it was just there all day long.
But it wasn't all just sitting there with books and
No.
teacher lecturing. You were actually doing a lot of hands-on with the
Right
farm
for the
stuff.
farm stuff.
Mhm.
I got on in the farm thing where I was actually helping on the farm stuff. So I was doing hands-on stuff, and then I come home and I actually do stuff here. So I was, it didn't seem like like school.
But it was a challenge because your mom said we couldn't do
Yeah,
it.
it was a challenge that I couldn't do it. She said I couldn't do it. I'm one of those people, you tell me I can't do it, I'm going to do it just to spite you.
Yeah. So I apologize for the barking.
All right.
I have an elderly dog, and she's kind of losing her faculties, and she's in the bedroom barking, thinking that my husband is still in bed or something, and he's at work.
What's the breed?
She's an Australian terrier.
Oh, okay.
She looks a lot like a very large Yorkshire terrier.
Yeah. When we moved out here, we brought 6 dogs with us, and it was a family of dogs of German Shorthair Pointers, and we brought 3 indoor cats. And the German Shorthair Pointers have evolved over the rainbow in time. And I worked for a puppy distributor and was able to pick up or bring home dogs that weren't going to make it out of the building to a store to their forever home. So our German Shorthair Pointer family kind of dwindled, and now we've got a conglomerate. We're not breed specific right now. So
we will be getting back to German Shorthair Pointers soon.
One of these days, yeah. But right now it's just 5 different dogs of how we've gotten them. One's a boxer. He's our oldest one, and he's actually our older son's dog who did over the road driving, and he wanted something to ride with him. So he found this boxer. I think Ace was about 2 years old, and he would ride with my son on his, trips and whatever. Well, then he stopped doing the trips, and he didn't really have a place for him. So he just kind of, migrated into our house, and
he hasn't left.
And he hasn't left yet, but he's starting to get the older dog, senior dog situation. The teeth are going. Yeah. The hearing's not the greatest.
Getting all white in the face.
Yeah.
In the body.
But that dog can hold he can go hours without going to the bathroom. Well, he could probably go 10 hours because that's how long when you're on driving over the road that they can drive, and then they have to stop and take a break. So that's when Ace would probably get to go out and do his business and whatever. He can just hold it, and then he's outside and he goes. He just cracks me up.
So he has 4 blotters.
Yes, and he's the skinniest of them too. So anyway, but most of the dogs are rescue dogs in a sense.
Yeah, kind of.
Yeah, kind of. We have a lab.
I think rescues are the best breed.
Yep. Our latest one is a German Shepherd that we got from a Texas rescue group that is
German Shepherd Rescue.
Right. Rich Cat
Ranch.
Kathy is a member of that, and we went to visit her last year when we went to the Pinecone Fest, and she had Daisy there, and she's just so cute. And the youngest boy has always, for whatever reason, always wanted a German Shepherd. So it came up that she was available, and we made the arrangements, and he and his dad drove down to meet Kathy in Oklahoma and brought home this cute dog. She is so cute.
She cracks me up.
She is so cute.
She talked to you. Literally, she'll stand at the door and talk to you.
And we think she might have some husky in her.
We think she's got a little bit of husky in her because she.
But she looks German Shepherd. Yeah. She's got but
she's skinny.
She talks.
I do cat rescue, kitten rescue mostly.
Well,
and,
all our cats just came here.
Yeah, they actually the ones we have now actually have followed Jerry from across the road, who farming operation over there, and it used to be people would dump cats on our property. We've had a couple of them outside cats.
We got a new one now that's
A
outside.
little kitten. She's surviving out there with all this cold that we're having. I don't really want her in the house because the other 3 cats we have now are in, out, in, out. I am going to catch her up and get her fixed when she's old enough. She's not old enough yet.
Yeah.
The 3 we have now go inside and outside, whereas before I had the cats in the house. They were house all the time. And the dogs, we'd have to rotate things around. And I finally said, about 5 years ago, I said, I'm not locking those cats up all the time when the dogs are in the house. Everybody's going to have to get along. And they do pretty much.
Yeah.
But the cats go outside most times in the day, and they're in at night, and the dogs are in at night too. So anyway, and then he wants to bring in another puppy.
So, when did you guys start your channel, and what prompted you to start your channel?
We started in October of 2021, October 29th, I think it is. And the reason why is, honestly, I used to watch Daniel Arms. I still watch him, but I watched Daniel Arms. He always talked about his 110 acres, but all he ever showed was, he used to do gardening, but I didn't watch it when he first started. I watched it right before he actually quit being on the police force in Oklahoma, highway patrolman. And he was always just feeding animals. And I said, I thought, we feed animals every day, and I could do a video showing feeding the animals and taking what goes on. And I said, he not talked about how much money he made, but he was talking about he was making some money. I thought, I could make a little bit of extra money. Then we just roll it right back into the animals and stuff, and help take care of, make it easier to help take care of the animals. Because, I knew we were going to be retiring. And, I thought, why the heck not, So I started it, and I did a couple of videos, and I did one video of taking care of the goats' feet and the feeding the cows some treats and stuff. And it got 25,000 views. And I went like, wow, this is a lot easier than I thought it was going to be, because we got 400 subscribers out of that, out of that one video. I thought, wow, this is going to be a lot easier than I thought it was going to. So I started working at it more. And I just,
that's his job.
I turned it into a job. Like it's not, I don't think it's a job. To me, it's just something I do. It doesn't seem like a job. A job is something you do that you really don't want to. I do this, I want to. And we've been putting out, I try to put out a video or a short every day. And so, hey, Katie, how are you? We have a lot going on on the farm and things off the farm. And I thought, what? Why don't we show people what it actually goes on farms? Because, not a lot of people know what actually happens on a farm. They hear stories, and they don't really, they don't see about taking care of fair fences and have to put, you may have to put an animal down, and you may have to replace fences or trim trees up, whatever the case may be.
And we also thought that family back in California,
and my mom and dad,
they were still around then.
Yes,
would they could see what we were doing. We wouldn't have to do weekly phone calls.
Right. They can come and
see what we're doing. And
shortly after I started the channel, my mom passed away.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that.
And then my dad passed away 2 years ago. 2 years ago now.
Yeah.
But he said he would watch them. He goes, my mom didn't watch them because my mom was a unique person. She wasn't happy unless she was making your life miserable. And I'm not trying to be mean or nothing. It's
I
fact.
understand.
She was always telling me, this is what you got to do, and this is how you got to do it. And I'm going like, no, it doesn't work that way.
And it wasn't just you; it was your 2 sisters.
Yeah, she told my sister the same way. All of us. She always tell us, you got to do it this way. You got to do it this way. It won't work anyway but this way, but we're doing it other ways that's working.
So your sisters watch.
My sisters watch.
And my daughter watches. Our daughter watches, and the grandsons watch periodically. My mother doesn't. And I don't think my sisters do every once in a while. So we wanted them to see what we were doing.
What actually goes on around here?
And we actually started our channel not too late. We talked about it, or I think our younger son brought it up, and we said, "Oh, it's not going to be around. It's going to change." And we aren't.
Yeah, we didn't start it when we should have started when YouTube first took off. Right. We should have started it.
And when we were doing our fencing,
and we were doing fencing, and we were doing crops at that time.
Yeah.
We should have started that time because you see a lot more of what's going on the farm than what now. Now it's down. We got it all. We got most of the work done.
Yep.
So now it's just little things like changing the water out or fixing, repairing fence, replacing fence, something like that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But that's the reason we started it, was that I didn't do it to try to make a bunch of money. I thought any money I make, it will go right back into the property or back into the channel, whatever it is. So,
right.
And I've actually rolled that money in and then some into the channel. So, it's
work in progress.
It's a work in progress. Yeah, it's something for me to do.
And he likes editing the videos.
Yeah,
he enjoys doing that. So that's a good thing.
Right.
There. So,
okay.
But you've also added, since you've retired, you're a beekeeper now.
Yeah, we brought bees on the farm. This year we have our own bees. Last year we had a mentor. Actually, 2 years ago we had a beehive, a swarm that went into our cherry tree, and it was out. And I'm highly allergic to bees, and so the bees were out in the cherry tree. We got to find somebody who can come get them. So we did some research, and I talked to people because I used to work for an ag company. And I talked to people that came in about their cows and stuff, and found somebody who had bees. And he said, "Oh, I got somebody. I'll call so and so." And make a long story short, Jess came over, and he set up this bee trap out there, so the bees would come out of the tree, and they catch them in a trap type thing, and they couldn't go back into the tree. Well, once he got all the bees out of that, then he took the whole hive away. And we sealed up the tree so they can't get back in the tree.
Mm-hmm.
So then I told him, I said, if you want to bring bees out here, you can bring bees out here. So he brought 2 hives out here last year and had them out there on the thing. And I would peek at them every once in a while, and I'd watch them from afar. And, he says, you can do this. I said, well, yeah, but I'm allergic to bees. And he says, well, you just get yourself an EpiPen. He goes, you don't get stung unless the bees are real aggressive, or you don't wear a suit. If you wear a suit and stuff, you'll probably be protected. I said, okay, so I thought I got a deal I saw on TikTok, there was a guy who was works for or showing about his bees. They had a special for their company. It's called Made Beehives, that you could get the beehive and the suit and all that stuff for really cheap. So I bought that setup to get me started. And then my friend Jess brought me a nuke, which is of a hive, a swarm he caught, and that's how I got started in the bees. So, and the bees are really interesting. I can talk about it. I've learned a lot about them.
I love learning about the bees. I follow Cog Hill Farm.
Yeah, Jason.
And they have a whole bunch of hives on their farm, and they work with beekeepers to help run their hives.
Oh, really?
And,
I didn't know Jason had beehives.
Oh, yeah.
I must have missed all those. I met him years ago when I started doing this at YouTube. I went to a YouTube creator conference.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
That was put on by Dutch and Daniel and Lester. They were there, and Coghill Farm was there. So I met all those guys, and I see them. I see them pretty much at least once a year.
Okay.
So but I didn't know Jason had beehives. But I found a lot of people who have beehives, and
don't talk about it.
They don't really talk about it very much. But I just started to think, hey, to me it's interesting. And we went to a meetup, and one of the ladies asked me about beehives. I started talking about it, and Susan said, I'm sorry, he gets on the roll about beehives. And she goes, I know, I want to learn all I can. So they're interesting animals.
And then you've got now, and you're going to do rabbits.
Oh yeah, and I'm going back into rabbits. I used to raise rabbits when I was in high school.
So you got to go out, got to get up from the chair and go outside and check those
Yep.
things every once in a while.
Yeah. I would love to have a small hive, but I don't think that the park owners would be too happy if I brought one in.
Yeah.
So you're in a park, but Lewis Acre Farm means what?
That to me, every time I refer to Lewis Acre Farm, it's a statement of faith, because it's my husband and my dream to have our own place and to have animals and to be self-sufficient. It's living the homesteader's lifestyle where we are.
Got it.
I have my garden.
Okay.
And my husband works at a livestock auction barn.
Ooh.
And he goes and he helps other people who are able to live on a farm. And he works for them every time they have a job to do.
Mm-hmm.
And we go and work and help them every chance we get. We both were raised in the farming community.
Okay.
And it's just, this is where I could afford when I was a single mom and needing a place to live.
Absolutely.
And so when he and I got back together, because we were high school sweethearts and we're reunited 13 years ago. And
congratulations.
Thank you. And so this is where we're able to live right now. But we decided years ago, before I ever started my channel, that we had the dream of sometime owning property. We know that we can't handle very much property, but if we could have a few acres to call our own and have a few animals and live the homesteader's life, that's our dream. And we decided back then that what we would call it would be Lewis Acre Farm.
Got it.
And I just lost my battery. I think I got it. Okay. So when I started my channel, I decided that I would call it Lewis Acre Farm. And so every time I speak that out, I'm speaking it out in faith.
Awesome. That's great. I applaud you for that.
And it'll happen.
It will. It will one day. It'll all just come together.
Yeah.
Well, I always tell people the best time to buy something is when you see it, because God's not making any more land. And unfortunately, these towns and cities keep spreading out farther and farther and farther, and they don't realize that all these farmlands, you got to keep farmlands or you're not going to have food.
But you also have to have an income that the banks will loan against.
Well, I know. We had a problem in our place because where I went to go get our loan originally says, well, you can't buy a farm because you don't have farming experience. And I said, I already bought the place. I'm paying the owner for it. Been paying for 2 years. And I said, I just want to get a loan to pay him off and have it secured through the bank. And they said, well, you can't get a farm loan because you don't have experience. And I'm saying, well, hold it. How are you supposed to get experience? Well, you need to go work for a farmer for 4 to 5 years before you can actually get experience before we even think about giving you a loan. And I said, look, dude, it's not that hard. I mean, you have to just use common sense, to have for 100 acres. That's not that big of a deal. It's not like I'm buying 6,000 acres.
Yeah.
And so it was a difficult, and we got our loan we got was from her boss. We're positive her boss called somebody because they actually gave us a business loan. And we got a business loan for the farm. We first got the loan to pay off the old owner. And we've been renewing that every couple of years, right? 2 or 3 years, we renew that.
3 years, yeah.
So, but it was like, I go to the bank. We live in a mobile home, and I went to the bank and say, hey, we want to buy this mobile home put on the, on this property and combine it all into one payment. And they go, well, you can't do that. And I said, what do you mean? Well, we don't give loans on mobile homes.
And yet, I'll say 75% of people in the state of Missouri
live in a mobile home. Yeah, they wanted us to build a stick house. Well, you need to be able to have a stick house on there, and we'll give you a loan. I'm going like, no. I bought the land by itself, and I said I want to maybe build a house down the road, but right now I just want to have something to live in. Well, we can't help you there, because I kept saying, well, what's the deal? Well, you could just pack that thing up and drive it off. I'm going, hold it. I'm buying the land. Why would I drive a mobile home off the property?
Yeah.
As where I'm wanting to live? You guys are making no sense. Their logic does not compute as far as I'm concerned. It just made stupid sense. The bankers just, they're not there to help people. They're there to help themselves and not help people as far as I'm concerned. I'm not a real keen person on bankers.
Yeah. Well, for Logan and I, our income is very limited. Things are changing for us right now, but we have to get to a certain place before we can even begin to look for property. And
is the dream to have an Idaho farm?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I want to stay in Idaho.
Yeah.
He would love to go back to Arkansas. But at the same time, he knows that for him, there's nothing there for him anymore. That's where he was born and where most of his family lives. But family's another story.
Yeah.
And, so this is our home. And it's finding a small parcel of land that's affordable that we could move our house to.
Yeah.
And it'll happen. It'll happen when the time is right.
You have your goals and your faith in it. Yes, it will happen. The stars all have to be lined up the right way.
Yep.
Right. Yeah. And I know that I can't get in over my head because I'm the one that has to manage the finances. Logan isn't able to do that. And so I don't want to get into a situation that would mean he would end up unable to provide for us or for himself if anything should happen.
Right. No, I hear you on that.
So I just got to make sure that everything is lined up and right. And
Absolutely.
When it's right, it'll happen.
That's right.
And I'll know when it's time.
Absolutely. Yeah, you'll know when it's right.
But anyway, I saw your video the other day about your sweet potatoes.
Yeah.
And I was impressed with the size of your sweet potatoes.
We got some pretty good ones.
Yeah, we did a couple good size ones.
We were talking about that the other night, and we know we don't have a soil issue, but it's can't
tightness.
Be just,
it's dense.
Yeah, it's dense, and we kind of knew that, but we didn't know what to do. But we've had some input and whatever. And
we're gonna change it up this next year for potato. We're gonna put the sweet potatoes in 55-gallon drums.
I did that 1 year.
It worked out really good that 1 year we did it. But we're gonna put a sweet in 55-gallon drums, and we're gonna mix up the dirt and put a lot more. We're gonna add some sand to it so it would keep it loose, and we're gonna add some
loamy.
Yeah, loamy. And we're gonna add some organic matter to it, and we're going to add some. I call them Orbeez, but it's not the Orbeez. It's the crystals that suck water up and hold the water. You know,
Oh,
they
okay.
expand. I can't remember the actual names of them, but we're going to buy some of that and mix that in the soil with it when we put them in the barrels. We're going to do the sweet potatoes in barrels that way this next year. And we have a water trough that's a 10-foot round water trough that was leaking severely, which we took out, removed it. And one of the videos shows us taking it out. And we're going to use that as another raised bed. You know, so we do raised beds because we have a terrible time with Johnson grass here.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Johnson grass takes over the area really fast, and it just, it just grow. I want to say, I don't want to say it grows like a weed, but it grows faster than weed.
It grew so bad the first year or two that I did a garden after we moved here that I was defeated.
Yeah.
And after talking to a gal at where I was working, she brought up straw bale gardening. I said, what? And she told me about it. So I read up on it. I didn't do it that year, but I did it the next year. And I had a pretty good run. I did it 2 or 3 years in a row. And I even did sweet potatoes in it one year. But then I think it got too dry or something. I can't remember. We had some weather change, but I didn't do a garden for a couple of years. And then I restarted up, and we made the IBC totes into raised beds. I follow, they're called Hollis and Nancy. They're in Florida. They originally started in South Carolina, but he does bucket gardening, a lot of bucket gardening. So I started watching that. So our garden is a combo of IBC tote, raised beds, buckets. What else? We're going to bring something else in. But anyway, nothing.
Wicking tubs.
Oh, our wicking tubs. Yeah, we've got some wicking tubs. So we're going to enhance on that and spread out a little bit more. And we're going to do the survival seed 2025 next year. We did 2024 and I enjoyed that. It was not very successful, but I want to do better. And we've got ideas about that. So mainly our big change in gardening is our dirt processing, dirt making.
Yeah, garden here, we could plant right in the ground, but the ground here, our ground is good ground because it's good, it's crop ground. But we have no rock here. So having no rock is a curse and a blessing in both in disguise, you know.
Right.
You get too much water and it just holds water forever. It's soppy out there. It's like walking on a sponge all the time.
Yeah, marshland.
Or you get not enough water and the ground dries out so bad that the grass. Our ground already is so bad here. The grass is actually turning brown now, and that doesn't usually happen for us until the middle of the winter time. So we haven't had rain in probably a month and a half,
at least
about a month and a half, 6 weeks.
Yeah.
And so we're hoping for rain tomorrow because there's a storm that's coming past you guys, coming in between. And we may get some, we may not, they said. So I don't know. Hopefully we will.
Well, but, we only get, in Caldwell, we only get an average of 11 to 13 inches of precipitation a year.
Oh.
So
I'm sorry. We're way over that. We're close to.
We had a really wet spring, which
72 inches a year.
It started the garden late this year because we couldn't get out there to, get things put together the way we wanted to. So
we couldn't get out there. To cut hay because it was too wet when I wanted to. And as soon as it dried off, I started cutting hay. And I stopped because it started getting too dry. So
Mother Nature was not kind this year.
Yeah, she was couldn't make up her mind what kind of weather she's going to be.
Yeah.
But it's so it's just the ground the Johnson grass. It starts growing, and you just you got it. The best way to get rid of Johnson grass is to put the cows on it.
Yeah.
The cows will graze it right out.
Yeah.
Yeah,
for sure.
We converted. We were forced to move our in-ground garden where we had it, and we converted our garden to self-watering raised beds. And I'll tell you, that's a game changer. It absolutely is a game changer for gardening.
Well, we can use
in previous years, I had to go out and water every single night. I was out there watering the entire garden. And with the self-watering raised beds, you fill them up, and then you might, if they're really, really dry on the surface, you might go out and just give them a light sprinkle in the evening. But they water themselves throughout the week, and you only have to fill them up a couple of times a week.
Huh.
And
Wicking tubs?
It's like
it's just, it totally changed. And I had the healthiest plants I've ever had. I got my garden started late because we had to build the beds. So some of my plants didn't have a chance to really produce like they could have.
Do you have some
But
garden videos on that?
I do.
Okay.
I
I'll go
do.
back.
There is a little bit of an investment to get them started.
Yeah. Oh,
But
always.
once they are built, I'm telling you, I'm converting. I still have 4 that are not raised, or they're not self-watering, and I have a little bit of material left over from this build, and we're going to convert those other 4 beds to self-watering with the leftover material as much as we possibly can,
Right.
because it just completely changed the whole growing system.
What did you use in the bottom? Rock or tubing or?
We used tubing because the rock was way, way, way too expensive to have delivered, and it would have meant a whole lot more labor.
Yeah.
And we had no idea how much rock we would need.
Right.
And nowhere to store it because of the pressures that we were getting from the park. Tubing was a whole lot less expensive in the long run, easier to store.
Right.
Did you use 4-inch? Did you use 4-inch or 3-inch?
I think we used the 4-inch.
And that was the slotted ones, right? 4-inch slots, black tubing.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. And now we just coiled it in the bottom. We have 4-foot beds. There's a 4-foot square.
Mm-hmm.
And we just coiled it in the bottom, and we didn't coil it super tight. Some people have you do it in strips.
Right.
But we just coiled it. We just snaked it around, and we used landscaping fabric over the ends and just tied it on there real tight.
Well, we did say I've done the same thing in what we call wicking tubs. Put 4-inch in there,
okay.
and then put cloth over top of that, and then put the dirt on top of it. So
how deep are your beds?
I think we made them. See, they're 4 rails high, and ours are fully mobile. Our beds are fully mobile. If you take the material out of it, you can just lift each layer off. They're not stationary. Because living in a park, we want them to be able to be easily moved.
Right. Right.
And they are 1-inch thick boards by 4-inch, 4 layers high. So they're about 16 inches tall.
Okay. So they're taller than our wicking tubs, but our IBC totes would work.
Yeah, we could do it. IBC totes on top, so we won't drill holes in them. Then we can do the same thing there.
Yeah, because what we have.
Yeah,
sorry.
I have at least 2, if not 3, videos that show, and I know I did one that went through the steps of how to build it.
Okay. Good.
And
I have to go back.
We just used brackets, L brackets, to piece the boards together. And we went on Marketplace, and we found some boards that were already cut basically to 4-foot lengths.
Ooh.
And then we pieced we got the boards for $1 a piece. And we had enough to build 5 4-foot beds, and then we built 3 that were only 2 boards high, and they were 2 foot wide and 4
So
foot long.
did you line it with something then? They put your tubing on top of
Yes.
that?
Yeah, she said
Okay.
Yes, you line it with, you need at least 6 mil plastic.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
And
Yeah,
we
see,
just
IBC
stapled it.
toast. I'm thinking about the IBC toast. We cut it in half, and we take the top part normally. And in the past, we had to drill holes through it, but we take the top part and put the tubing in there, and then we don't have to worry about drilling the holes. That would make it a lot easier.
mhm.
Yeah,
You
if
know,
you had a plastic, if it had the plastic, that's even better.
Yeah.
But we just used the wood because it's easy to move. You can do it
Right.
in layers. You can
Well,
transition it. You know, we can take 2 layers off and make them real short if we decided we wanted to. We just needed it to be very, very portable
right. No, makes sense.
for
Yeah,
our living
ours is movable, but we use the tractor to move it. The
Yeah.
IBC toes are 4x4, and so you know, once you get dirt and the rock and the stuff in them, it gets pretty heavy. So we just use the tractor to move them.
Yeah.
That's what we're
And
gonna
then
do.
we also used old pine needles. We used old leaves. We used some fill dirt. We got some that had a lot of rock and sand in it.
Yeah.
And we used that in the bottom. And then we put our good growing dirt on top. We bought potting soil, real inexpensive potting soil at Lowe's. They had it for like $2 a bag.
Ooh,
And
that's
we
a
put
deal.
that in the top of the bed so that it had good soil in the top for growing.
Right. That's what I ran into, is that the soil would have been that we bought was mushroom soil. So it was 30% mushroom and 70% topsoil. And we used that exclusively. And that probably should have been in the bottom. And then we should have had the potting soil type on top. So we're going to actually take that dirt, because we still have a lot left, and just make it into potting soil by adding to it.
Yeah, I'm going to add a lot more organic matter and some
Yeah.
for vermiculite or perlite.
Yeah.
And I'm going to add some black cow manure, which is like just basically is cow droppings. We're going to just go out and scoop it up and out of the field and bring it back and make a big pile of it and recycle it. Yeah, and put it in and mix it all in the dirt, and then I'm going to put those in the toast, and that will make, and some sand. I'm going to add some sand to it. That will make it a lot lighter. So the potatoes will do better in that ground. So will carrots will do better in that ground. Anything that grows in the ground, any root type thing.
Most of it, on the surface.
Yeah, most of it grow just on the surface because it was so hard to get down. Because after you water it, it starts packing in. It gets so tight that it wouldn't let the roots go down into it like it should. So that's what we're going to do next year on our sweet potatoes and our carrots and our potatoes.
Yeah.
So
yeah, and the corn probably.
Yeah.
Yeah. So and Robert walked through the living room the other night when we were talking about all of this, me and Jerry, and he looked at. I said, "Yeah, I know garden season's done, but we got to start talking and planning for next year."
Yep, plan early.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
In fact, I told Susan she and I get a list out, and we've got what we got out there, 8 totes out there.
Yes.
We have eight half IPC totes now this year. We're going to add another 4 for next year, and maybe even, and then we're also going to add that 10 circle metal tubing for in another area of the grass. So we have more garden area because we want to grow more vegetables and stuff.
We were in April, I think it was. We were over in Oklahoma, and we drove past this produce place along the road, and they weren't open when we went by. But anyway, we stopped in there, and I was looking in. They had IBC totes out there, which I knew all about that. But he had taken and put straw bales inside. He had three straw bales in there, and that held them together. You didn't have to worry about them falling apart. I was going to do a fall garden like that. I didn't get
to it.
I didn't get to it because I wanted to grow broccoli and cauliflower and cabbage for the chickens as fall crops, and I didn't get it all together. But I may be able to get that, try that with this, because I really like the straw bale gardening. I really like that for some of the vegetables that I'd grown before. They was successful in doing that, so I think I'll be doing that again too.
Yeah.
We need more toads.
Yeah, we need more toads.
We need more toads.
And we lined our garden this year with a well, it's a wheat cloth. Is what it is. It's what's that stuff called? Can't remember what that stuff is called now.
Yeah.
But anyways, we laid it out in the area of the garden. The garden's like 34 foot long by 45 foot or something like that, or 45 by 35 or something like that. And we bought a couple of rolls of it and rolled it out and pinned it down with. We made pins out of coat hangers, and pinned it down through the cloth into the ground with the metal coat hangers to hold it to the ground and cover up the ground so the Johnson grass wouldn't get a hold in that area. So that's a good. And it didn't come up at all. It didn't come up at all in that area at all. I mean, you could feel that the moles had gone underneath the ground because you could walk and then all of a sudden the ground would give. You're like, what the heck happened there? Well, we realized the moles. We don't have gophers here, but the moles would go underneath the ground and they would burrow up an area, but they wouldn't come up out of the ground because the cloth is holding them in. So they burrow through it and then make the ground softer, which is okay. It doesn't bother me.
Right.
You walk into the ground, just kind of gives way, like, oh, there was a mole hole. So,
yeah,
we rambled on a lot and took up all your time.
well, you're fine. You're fine. So now you recently experienced quite a major jump in your the growth of your channel.
mm-hmm.
What caused the growth in your channel?
I started doing promotions.
It's
okay. I'll explain it. It's a tool that is offered by YouTube. If you go into your content, you'll look at the top there. You'll see where it says promotions. Or if you click on your video, there's 3 dots on there. It'll say promote, and you can click on the promote and promote the video. And there's 3 things in the promotions. 1 is audience growth, 2 is views, and the 3rd one is for websites. Like if you were selling something, and I use the word widgets, meaning basically anything. So if you're selling widgets and you wanted to promote your widgets, then you would click on that 3rd one, which is a website thing, which would attract people to your website. So, but it's put on there on YouTube for the use of content creators to use it to promote your channel, and what it does is get your word out there. You can not do anything and you'll still grow, but you're not going to grow very fast until you get larger. The larger you get, the more your name's being put out there for other people to see your content. Or unless you have something that's a unique video, like Rob from Curmudgeon Inn in Alaska. He did a video of him going down on a train. They have to go to a train to get to town. They go to the train and get their groceries, and he got really lucky that caught on, and everybody, his people started watching. And it's like I think it's at 1.3 million views right now, and he got a lot of subscribers from that because people caught on to it. And they wanted to see what's going on. Hey, this is interesting. This is interesting. Well, if you have stuff that's regular stuff, I mean, I'm not the only farm channel out there. There's lots of other farm channels out there, and so unless I have something happen very uniquely that people are going to be interested in seeing it, because the more people who actually look at your video and hit your thumbs up, the more people it's pushed out to. So if you have, like Rob, he had, it started off at 100,000. People started getting pushed out. He didn't promote it all. It just started to get shot out, pushed out, and he started getting more and more likes and more comments. And the more people who comment, the more people who looked at it, the more it got pushed out. And like I said, it's probably not, I want to say it's peaked out, but it's probably peaked out now because it is slowing down a lot. It peaked out right about 1 million views, and it's slowed down. He's only had 300,000 views in the last week and a half now. So, but he got a lot of subscribers from that. But if you don't get that lucky hit on that one particular video, and you want to get your name out there so your channels can grow, that promotions is the way to go. But it does cost money.
It's marketing and advertising.
Yeah, it's marketing and advertising is what it is. You're marketing and advertising your channel. And I have told Jesse from Lazy Days Ahead about it. He has gone to almost 19,000, I think it is now. From him using it. I told MT Homestead about it. They've gone up to in the 20,000. I've told Jan at Simply Jan, and she's in the 12,000. She just started another promotion here last week. I think it was earlier this week. Actually, the end of last week. So she just started another one. I've told people, if you're interested in it, you can email me. I'll send you my phone number, and I'll give you all the information. I spend 3 months now studying it, and I know what you shouldn't do, what you could do, and what I do.
And you got the inside from Melody at
Melody. Melody from My Wild Home. Her and I talked to her about it because she started doing it, and so she sent me an email about how she did it, what they did, and it all depends on what you can afford too. I mean, because some people can't afford a little bit extra money and to promote. But Gail from our broken ministry and from Gail Southern Living, she did a couple of bit of it. She only did like $30 of it, but she got what she wanted out of it.
How does it like for myself? I'm sitting at, I believe, 356 subscribers, and my watch hours, I haven't even hit 1,000 yet. So how does it affect your watch hours?
You get a lot of watch hours. I mean, because it all depends on what you actually do. What we did was I started off working on it with just doing shorts. And I get subscribers and stuff, and they would watch the shorts, like 15, 30-second shorts. I was promoting them. People were watching them, and they were subscribing. Then Melanie said that she told me, she said, hey, what I did was I did an introduction to people. So they get an intro to you and what your channel is about. So we made an intro, and we did that for one intro video, 3 minutes, 8 seconds long. And we did that for one whole month. And we ended up with almost 6,000 subscribers out of it. And I can't tell you how many watch hours I got because I haven't gone and looked. But they watch the whole thing. I mean, most people watch a 3-minute video, and so they watch the whole thing, and that's how you get all the subscribers. I've also did the views one 15-day period. I do it in 15-day periods. I did the views in one time, and I got 30,000 views out of almost 200,000, I think it was, that saw that it was showed to. About 30,000 people watched the views, and I got 2 subscribers out of that. So, I mean, it all depends on what you really want to get. I mean, I told my goal, so I told Susan, is to get to 100,000 subscribers. When I hit 100, if I hit 100,000 subscribers before I'm dead, that's great. I mean, and us being in our 60s, or high over 60s, or in our late 60s, or late 60s, we don't have as much time as some of these people who are 45 and to build on the channel. Our time is limited compared to some of the others. I know I'm just talking about natural things,
Right.
So I figured I'll promote it a little bit and see if I can get it going a little faster than just sitting there and let it take its natural course. And I'm glad I did. And Kevin and I he was on our live a couple weeks ago, and him and I talked afterwards. And he was telling me that all we're doing is called the advertisement. He goes, you're advertising yourself. And he said, if you don't believe in yourself, how can somebody else believe in you?
That's true.
In order to watch you. So I believe in our channel. I believe in what we do. I believe in all our content we put out there. We've got almost 1,300 videos out there. It takes somebody almost probably a whole month to watch all our videos. And then that month that they're watching our videos, they'd be 30 more videos behind. So, I mean,
they have with the new guidelines that they came out for YouTube on subscribers, you're close to getting your 500, and you just need to get your watch
It
hours.
was just 3,000 hours.
Huh?
It's 3,000 hours though. 500, 3,000.
Oh, okay. Well, still.
Yeah, and that's just for the first level of monetization.
Right.
Right.
They didn't have that first
1,000
level.
subscribers and 4,000 watch hours to get full monetization.
Yeah, they didn't have that first level when we got monetized.
Right. And when we were working towards it was last year, because the year before in June we had the month of June we had 500 watch hours,
which was that video that we first started off with.
Okay, but we had to get the numbers up, or we were going to lose that 500 videos. And Jerry
500 hours.
500 hours, and Jerry was getting ready to have a knee surgery, so we didn't know how he was going to be with doing the editing and taking videos and stuff like that. So he did most 90% of it. Worked really hard that May and June, just before that time, to get monetized so that we wouldn't lose, because to make up 500 watch hours would have been a chunk of change, and we didn't know how we were.
Yeah, because we started losing hours.
Yeah,
we're losing hours every month, and we, every day we lose hours, because it's a running 365 days. So every day that roll by, you lose. After you've been doing it for a year, you lose hours. So you got to make up those hours plus more hours.
So it was real lucky that we had that Mid-America meetup that first year in Oklahoma, because he ran a live every day.
I ran it for.
That's how we got our watch hours.
Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. I ran it for 4 hours on Friday, and I got a couple hundred hours out of that. And then I ran it for 10.5 hours on Saturday, and I got almost 1,000 hours out of that. And that actually put me over. And then I did it again on Sunday, and we got another 200 hours out of that. I did it for 4 hours on Sunday before we left.
So we were able to get monetized just before he had that knee surgery.
Right. So like 2 weeks before the surgery.
So, but yeah, he worked really hard at
and
it. And right after that is when they came out with the first level of monetization.
But they also don't care about what you get monetized. They really don't care about the watch hours anymore. They care about views. They want you to get views. So, so my thing to keep getting views, we keep putting shorts out and keep putting videos out. I mean, if I get 100 views per video, that's it's 100 views. That adds up in a week. It's over. It usually it's over 1,000 hours. I mean, 1,000 watch hour or 1,000 views in a week. I average every 48. Well, now that I'm doing promotions, I average about between 4,000 and 8,000 views every 48 hours. So it's all about the views, and that's what that's what they want. But the views is is what they get the advertisement on. And I also did what's called a campaign through Google Ads, and I don't ever recommend anybody to do a campaign unless you're selling something.
Yeah, it's business oriented.
It's mainly made for businesses, and I did get subscribers out of it. Don't get me wrong, I got subscribers out of it, but it is so difficult to set it up, and you cannot change the video. And if you can, I never figure out how to, because I spent hours clicking on things trying to figure out how to change the video, and I could never change the video. So I don't recommend you doing that. And for somebody like you, what I would do if I was you is I would go set up my AgSense and get that program all set up. Even though you're not monetized, I'd get it set up so you have your credit card on there, and if you wanted to promote, you can promote once you get your credit cards into the system. It's got to be hooked up to something that they can pay you, an account they can pay you, and an account that comes out. And I have mine set up with the credit union, and the card I use is my debit card, but it is signed to an actual account so they can send money to the account. I've had a lot of people. Well, Tiffany up in Canada, she had problems getting it done because she has a debit card, but it wasn't assigned. It wasn't. I don't know exactly how it was, but in Canada it's a little bit different. They want you to have a regular credit card. And another people on, and I don't know if they're on here or not, but and I know you know who they are. But they said they text me and asked me about things, and they have a secure card where they put money into it, and they have the money in there, but AgSense or the promotions would not accept it because it's not a credit card. Even though they think it's a credit card and they use it as a credit card, according to AgSense, that's not a true credit card. So,
Okay.
that can be problems with people because they try to use different things and they want it a certain way. I'm not. The way I feel is that I'm playing in their sandbox. So what they want, I'll just go ahead and do the way they want it. But that's how we got the promotion. We
Oh, okay. Well, I think Jerry must have must have been playing with buttons, and we lost him. Maybe they will come back in. I hope that you're enjoying this live today. And Logan just got home from work, and one of our feral kittens just came in. So that's always fun. We are working on trying to get some of the feral kittens. They, I think, hit a button or something, and he jumped out of the live. Hopefully they will come back. Yep, there they are. Let me bring them in.
Sorry.
He got a little
hitting buttons, huh?
I hit a button that didn't mean to hit. Anyway, so I would recommend, because it takes a while to get the AgSense set up. Even when you get monetized, you're going to have the AgSense set up to get monetized. So you could go ahead and set up ahead of time. So when you hit the monetization, it just takes off. You won't have to go through all the hoops.
I'm definitely going to have to talk to you or somebody, because I didn't even know. I mean, I've already clicked the little button on the earn tab in Studio, saying notify me when I'm eligible.
Right.
But I didn't know there was another step.
Oh, there's lots of steps.
Well, see, here's the problem. There's no handbook to YouTube. Everybody learns either by clicking the wrong thing or clicking the right thing. And if they click the right thing, they forget to write down how they did it so that they can share with others. Seriously, share with others. And that's the one thing that I have against them, is that there's no, like when you get to the monetization, they don't really give you all the steps and the details, but they're really willing to tell you when you did it wrong.
Right.
But they don't help you get it wrong.
And the thing about YouTube, we set up our YouTube on a Google account. I have it on a Google account. I signed into a Google account. Susan went in and signed in and made up a Gmail account so she could get in there. But they recommend you having 2 separate emails, and they really like Gmail, because Gmail is owned by Google, which owns YouTube.
You
So
set up a Yahoo account.
I said, yes, I said.
You said Google.
Oh, I'm sorry. I went in by Yahoo. I signed up originally with Yahoo. So I have 2 sign-ins. I can sign in under either one of them, and they both work. But it's good to have that, because that way, if somebody would hack my one account, I can get in my other account and kick them out.
Right.
So it's a way.
I have Gmail, and I have 3 separate Gmail accounts, and I use 2 of them. Okay. I set up a specific email account for my channel.
Good.
But I actually log in with my main email account.
Okay. So when you start to do the monetization, you have to go back always and check your spam folders, because when they email you stuff, it always goes into the spam folder. And I don't know why, but when I was going to monetize, I was sitting at a place that said, we'll notify you when they take the next step. And I waited and I waited and I waited. A week later, I'm still waiting. And I called a friend of mine and said, well, have you checked your emails? Well, I went and checked my emails, which I have attached, which is Butler Family Farm at Yahoo. And I checked that, and he said, "Well, did you check your spam folder?" I checked it, and there's nothing in there. I said, "Yeah, there's nothing in there." I said, he said, "That's kind of weird." He said, and I said, "Hold it. Let me go ask Susan to check the one that she's got it on." She go in there, and there's a whole list of stuff what I've got to do in the spam folder. It's not in the Gmail, in the spam folder. I said spam folder in Gmail.
Yeah.
She signed in under the G thing, and it had nothing in the regular mail, but you go to the spam folder, and there's all this stuff from YouTube saying you got to do this step, and do this step, and do this step. So I started doing it. The next thing I know, it was a matter of 3 days I was monetized.
Yeah.
Wow.
So there's tricks to it. I also found, I don't know if you know Peaceful Des. You know Peaceful Des?
Yeah, I know the name.
Okay, Peaceful Des. She's an acquaintance of ours. She's down in Florida. She's been trying to get monetized, and for a long time she couldn't get it. Kept getting denial. So I said to her, I said, "What, email do you have?" And she'd tell me, and I said, "Okay, go set yourself up a Gmail account and attach that to your channel." "That's not gonna work. And I said, "Try it. Just humor me and try it." So she said, "Okay." So she went in and made a Gmail account on live. I was doing with her, and she made a Gmail account. She went in there and added it to the channel. The next morning, she got up and they said, "You've been approved for monetization."
That's all it took was a
Well,
Gmail.
you know that Google owns YouTube.
Right. Google owns YouTube, and Gmail
account. Gmail is a Google product.
And they want you to do that. But also Google AdSense is also owned by Google, but it's also a separate entity. It's not
crazy.
It's the left hand of the right of the body. The right hand is YouTube. The left hand is Google Ads.
And supposedly Google's not a monopoly.
Yeah. Okay.
Supposedly.
It's separate companies, and they just, they happen to be under the same umbrella. I mean, like I said, I know what, that's why I said I spend lots of times working on this stuff, and I know what works. And I did this on purpose for I could help people so they didn't go out and spend extra money and not get what they wanted out of it.
Or spin their wheels and get frustrated.
Spin their wheels and get frustrated and say, "Okay, I'm done with this. I can't get to work. I'm done. I'm quitting."
So, Jerry, let me ask you this question. How soon is your YouTube for Dummies book coming out?
I'm not making. I've told people before. People said you should make a video on it. I go, no. It's not a one thing solves everybody. That's why I said to people, if you want to know about it, you email me. I'll send you my phone number, or if you have my phone number, you call me. I'll talk to you on a one-on-one basis, because that's the only way I can decipher what they're actually talking about, and I can solve I can try to solve almost any little issues they have.
But see, the steps that have to be taken.
Yeah.
All these steps. So if you were to write the book for Dummies and publish think about the killing you make.
Yeah,
because there's still be things that I couldn't put in writing.
He likes to talk, and it's easier for him to talk you through it than to write it down.
Okay.
And
much easier.
And I'm too busy to help him do it. So
a YouTube for Dummies video.
Well, see, the thing is that there's people that if they're interested in it, they'll ask him about it.
Right.
He doesn't want to be pushy about it. He doesn't want to, be in your face about it. And a video might be like that.
Yeah.
And it's better if it's a one-on-one, because if you talk to him, then you ask him about it, then you're really interested.
Right.
In what's going on.
I had some people mention at the YouTube meetup that they wanted to know about it. And I said, call you. And he said, "Oh, I'll call you." And I haven't seen any phone calls. So to me, if they're really interested, they'll call.
I just think about all the people out there who don't know you, who are sitting out there that are just absolutely frustrated and have no clue how to.
Well, I go on Kevin's live right now. He's been live for a while, and I go on Kevin's lives all the time. And Kevin always tells people, if you know about me doing promotions, if you want to know, Jerry will help you, and just call him. He'll email him. He'll send you a phone number and then call him. So I mean, I'm available. I mean, it's not like I have to go. I'm
Yeah.
out of job from 8 to 5. I'm home retired. I may be out. Take one day. I may not be able to take a phone call, whatever. But I'll always get back to people, and I'll always help people. Because that's my calling. Is as far as I'm concerned, to help people, get through this thing. And I'm a numbers person. I always have been a numbers person. And I can if I can't figure it out, I'm sure there's somebody in Google who knows it, but until you get to 100,000 subscribers, you don't have any no support from Google. And that's one of the reasons I want to get to 100,000 subscribers, because I'll have support that way. And that's the main thing. Once you get 100,000 subscribers, you get a phone number, and you actually get somebody who works at Google as your liaison, right?
Mm-hmm.
Your liaison. So, and that's my key. But I figured out a lot of stuff, I can fumble my way through quite a bit of it.
Yeah.
He was online, but he lost his feed now too. Kevin has. So, but anyways, I have it's not like you pay for long distance phone calls anymore, because there is no long distance anymore. Way the numbers are, everybody's long distance all included.
Yep.
So, but I'll walk anybody through that wants to talk to me. I mean, I helped. Let me think of her name now. Dang it, Metal Block. What is her name? Ruby, right from Rushing Wind Mountain. Ruby called me, and I talked to her through it, and got her, and she said, "Well, I'm gonna have to wait for a while." And that, everybody's finances are different, so it's what you can afford to do. I happened to had a little bit of extra money, and I said that's why I went into all the experiences the last 3 months, because I wanted to see what works and what doesn't work. And that's why I went through the Ag Sense to see if I could. And I was on the phone with the Ag Sense person for probably 4 hours. And at that end of 4 hours, I thought, you've got to be kidding me. There's, the promotions through YouTube is a whole lot easier than going through Ag Sense. But as she said, she asked me, kept saying, "Well, what are you selling?" And I said, "I'm not selling anything." She said, "Well, what are you promoting?" And I said, "I'm promoting my YouTube channel." "So what are you selling?" And I thought, "Yeah, this is a vicious circle." Round and round.
I'm selling my channel.
And I said to her, "Have you ever watched my channel?" "Well, no." I said, "Then go watch it and then come back to me." And she went away for like 10 minutes to watch one of my channels, one of my videos, and came back and went, "Oh, so you're just trying to promote your channel out there?" "Correct. That's what that's exactly." It's like, yeah, that's what we're doing. She said, "Well, we can do it this way, but so we have to unclick this and unclick that and unclick this and unclick that." And I'm going, "Why are we on?" "Well, that doesn't pertain to you because it's about products." I thought, "Well, this is in the process of this." I said, "Yeah, this is something we don't want people doing. We don't want people on YouTube that's promoting their channel to do, because it could get frustrating as heck. Because you have to unclick almost 90% of the stuff that's already pre-clicked."
Wow. Well, there's a wealth of information that's been shared today, and I truly, truly appreciate it. Is there anything else about your channel or about your farm or about you guys that you would like to share with people? Susan, I know that you do crafting.
I do.
Is there anything about that you would like to share with our viewers today?
No. It's just a continuing thing. My quilting is and actually knitting and crocheting is something that I did with my mother. My sisters do it also. But the quilting is something I started with my mother when she retired. And when COVID came around and she turned 90, the little switch went off in her head, and she doesn't do the quilting anymore, but she can still talk it. So I'll always do that. Not maybe a whole lot all the time. I don't get to do as much as I would like to do because of other activities and stuff going on. But I do enjoy that. And I've got several tops that are in the process of being finished up into what they call quilts. I'm a top maker, and I have quite a few tops, and so I need to get those, finished up and find some homes for them and whatever. But that's a connection for me and my sisters, is to the quilting and the knitting.
Right.
So I enjoy that. I'm always doing.
I won that beautiful spinner that I guess you made the spinner. And
Yes. No,
yes.
no. Well, no, I did not. Beth from BNS Odyssey made the spinner and gave them.
Okay.
She made them, and yeah, she just whips them out.
Yeah.
She just whips them out.
That is so beautiful. I'm still trying to figure out where I want to hang that.
Oh, are you? Yeah. I had one out front where the puppy got a hold of it. I have to put it back together, but it has a little beehive at the bottom of it, and it's black and yellow, I think. I'm not sure, but yeah, those are really cool. Beth made those.
Okay. So go ahead, and either one of you, if you want to share anything, any last little bits of information about you, your channel. This really is about sharing you guys out. It's my way of giving back to the people that have been important to me, that have that I've gotten something out of your channels. It's my way of giving back to you, to promote you and to share you out. So,
well, the only thing I would say that I'd like to say is that we do have a posse. It's our membership, and we have six that have been with us for a year, and they're receiving something in the mail, which is what we said we would do. But if anybody ever thinks about it, there's 2 levels. Just check out the membership. We'd love to have you in our posse.
Okay.
And I will be coming out with a As the Bull Turns series 2. No. Chapter 2?
No. Season
2. Season 2. I'll be working on. Actually, I'm going to have a special come out for the end of the season 1 bowling that I did for Susan. It's a yarn bowl, and I've done some modifications to it, and I'm going to have a special come out on that one. But then I'm going to start a season 2 for As the Bull Turns. I have a lot of people who like to see the wood turning stuff, which is, I'm just like, to me, it's like, I just want to get it done, but they want to see it. And so I'm going to I'll start making videos of that so they can see how the next one comes out.
Yeah, because you're going to be out in your shop.
Yep. Awesome. Winter's coming up, and I'll be out in the shop more because it's, I can turn the heater on, turn the stove on in there, or actually put the wood in the stove and heat it up, and spend time out there, time out in the shop.
We appreciate you asking us to join you on this Monday afternoon.
Yep. Our live's going to go in
2 hours.
2 hours. We'll be live, and we have a guest on our live tonight.
So, Templin Acres says lots of good information, and I do agree. So if somebody wants to get in touch with you, how do they get in touch with you to get more information about monetization or promoting their channel?
Email me at butler_family_farm@yahoo.com. And then I will send you my phone number, or if you already have my phone number, you can call me. And I know some people out there already have it. You can call me, and I will. Don't call me on a Monday afternoon, though, because that's the day we go live, and I'm busy doing that stuff. And I will call Butler_family_farm, and then at yahoo.com. 2 underscores between the 2 words. It's also on my about page. You can go in there, and that's my email on there. And I'll call you, and or you can call me, or I'll send you my number. You can call me when it's. Yeah, that's it.
Did I get it right?
Yep, got it. Perfect.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anybody that is interested in getting more information from Jerry, there is the email. Please feel free to email him and reach out for more information on monetization or promotions through YouTube. And as you heard here, he's more than willing to share his information, his wealth of knowledge through trial and error. And so, yeah. And I know that you guys have a lot going on. And sorry, I just heard a crash.
Bucket.
I know that you have a lot going on, and I don't want to keep you any longer than necessary. But I do so appreciate you being here today.
No problem.
And I definitely want to look into getting more information myself. I want to find out more about this AdSense and see what I can do possibly about doing a promotion for my channel. I think if I can at least hit that first level of monetization, I think that I'll have a chance of reaching full monetization faster.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. And, absolutely.
It took us. It took us basically. We got the monetization within 1 year. No, actually, it was a little less than that. I mean, more than that.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I was at like 3,000 and some odd hours, and then I was wondering whether I kept seeing my hours go down, then go back up, go down, go back up. And that's when I realized you had to have 365 days straight through. So I actually went through and clicked on it, wrote down on a calendar every day how many hours I was losing. So I would work to gain that many hours. I would try to double that many hours back. So I was losing or more. And so I noticed that 500 hours was coming up in May, and because that one video I did that had 25,000 views, it had 490 hours, something like that on that. And I thought, oh crap, that's what I'm going to lose over 3 days. I'm going to lose that. So I've got to make it before that. And that's when I really started working hard at getting to it in order to, and I started doing adding, or what do you call it? Not co-stream, but
you joined live.
I joined lives, and I would also stream mine at the same time. So people come in, like Randy from used to be Missouri Outlaw. Now he is now R.E. Smith. He would go live in his trucking, and I would co-stream with him on there, and that way that would help give me watch hours. It may not have been a lot of watch hours at one time. There are sometimes I had 10, 15 people in there watching for an hour. 10, 15 hours is 10, 15 hours, and when you're
absolutely,
and if you're losing 1 or 2 hours and you get 10 or 15 hours, anything as a plus is a plus. So I did that for a while, and then the meetup was really where that got me over. It got me from I was at like 3,500 hours. It put me up to about Tommy at home, we were over 5,000 hours. So I rocketed 1,500 hours in that weekend, and it got us up over the monetization time, because I could lose hours to them as I was still in the area. It was so good. So
okay, cool.
Anyways, I got to get a hold of our guest and be sure he's going to be in. And
okay,
I appreciate having us on here.
Absolutely. We'll try to do this again sometime.
Yep.
Okay.
Give him a holler. He'll talk your ear off.
Not a problem. I love to talk.
It's a good thing. It's a good thing.
All right. Well, I want to thank you again, and I want to thank everybody who's been here in the chat. And I hope you guys have a wonderful and blessed week. Both you, Jerry and Susan, and everyone in chat. I want to thank everybody that's in the replay crew. I appreciate everyone who watches the replay. That is so very important. And you are vital to the success of my live streams. The time of day that I go live is a little difficult for a lot of people. There's a lot who still work or
Right.
have a lot happening during the daytime. And so I understand that not everybody can be here for the live. And so to make the live streams truly successful, it's very important to have people come back and watch the replay.
Exactly. Yes.
And I really am very thankful for every single person who comes back and watches the replay. I would just like to say, please remember to hit the thumbs up on your way out or on your way in. And
just hit it.
Leave a comment. Leave a comment. If you have questions for Jerry and Susan, you can leave them in the comment section. And one of us will make sure that you get your question answered.
Absolutely.
So I appreciate you.
Thank you.
God bless and have a wonderful, wonderful week. And I know I didn't get my thought for Thursday out this last week. This is a very difficult time of year for me. I will do my best to get one out for you this week. No guarantees till after the 5th of this month, of next month, I am sorry. But I will have a video out for you later this week. So go with God. Have a blessed week, and I'll see you next time.
Take care. Thank you.
Bye.